To feel, to know, to experience every emotion as if it's from a first-hand experience. To hear and or feel what is most often unspoken. This is the life of an empath. Welcome back to Into the Veil. I'm Rachel. I'd like to thank you for being here and invite you to listen and see if you or someone you know might be a true empath. We did a video earlier called the Empaths User Guide, which discusses the various types of empaths, and I will give you a link to that. But here I would like to talk about 5 main significators and see if these traits might belong to you, someone you love, someone you know, and discuss the difference also between sympathy and empathy. The term empath is often used rather loosely in place of someone who's sympathetic. Both of them are a gift and both are really important. But today we're going to focus on being an empath. And what does that mean? What are the signs of being an empath, and are you one? Please don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe as we explore all things energetic on this channel. So to begin, nearly every one of us is born with a level of sympathy. And sympathy is the capability to have understanding and basic compassion for another person, for something they might be going through. Car breakdowns, sicknesses, a loss of a home or a job, or the good things, celebrating their new opportunity, a birth, a promotion, and so on. These types of things, as a rule, are conceptually understood by the masses and can be experienced through sympathy. A sympathetic individual can offer grace if someone is having a bad day or they're off kilter, or even celebrate another's accomplishments easily. And this too is a gift, because oftentimes we need that celebration, or we need that compassion, that grace, to enable us to get through a bump in our road. For the empath, however, it isn't quite as cut and dried as this. From the time they're born, and even while still in the womb sometimes, reality is painted differently for the true empath. As they absorb emotion and feel it at a very real or visceral level, and really they don't know how to not do this, which leads us to our first significator, which is taking on other people's energy. Many empaths, especially while still trying to learn and understand themselves and their gift, not only feel what other individuals feel, and this can include also picking up, even unintentionally, certain thoughts, but oftentimes they struggle with perceived mood swings, in that the energy of others can become reasonably directional for them. Young empaths are the most susceptible to this, as they haven't built up the necessary shields or a way to filter through these feelings yet. Sometimes the mood or personality can easily change to accommodate all that they feel, and it can even make it worse as those around them begin to question or ridicule their mood or their expressions, creating an additional level of judgment that they then feel. And oftentimes this just keeps mounting onto the basic plate of what they're already trying to compartmentalize. The second, and one of the most impactful significators, is the empath's overwhelm when they are in crowded places. The need to shield is essential for an empath, especially when dealing with crowds, because they become easily overwhelmed, and certain atmospheres like clubs, bars, oftentimes are truthfully environments that can become warehouses for people that are coping with various types of pain in their lives. Hospitals can also be exceptionally difficult for an empath in feeling the worry, the pain, the grief, and even the exceptional exhaustion levels that interns or doctors and nurses experience, all of this residing in one building. The empath almost wants to run out of a place like this, and can even be hit with virtual feelings of nausea because of the onslaught of feelings that they're met with. The third significator, which may not seem to be very impactful or important, but truly can be, is that empaths must be very mindful of where they reside. It can often be a struggle just to find a residence, like so many others that they know, because they not only need a home that's in a fairly quiet location, but then they also have to evaluate the energy of that place, of that land, and make sure that there's no trauma or residual energy that will affect them, because it will affect them. Serenity is truly essential. Nature is very healing. Animals are very healing to the empath, and they're drawn to these environments. Some of the greatest empaths probably live in the most remote portions of the world. But in that sacred space, in that serenity, they can find healing, and they can filter out what does not belong to them. And that's almost impossible to do if they remain in an environment that feels chaotic. Another trait to examine is the fact that many true empaths tend to have difficulties honing in on their own problems or challenges, as the well-being of others can become such a point of focus for them that they can neglect to prioritize in their own needs. Often they minimalize their own stuff to the point of looking negligent or non-driven. And this really isn't quite the truth, but can merely be a byproduct of putting the feelings and needs of others in front of their own, even at the risk of sacrificing their own dreams and goals. Most empaths have great vision and high-reaching goals. It's just a matter of them being able to prioritize their energy equally with those of others. So lastly, one of the most important facets of being an empath, in being able to understand the high level of intuition that an empath has. This is not just about identifying yourself or another as an empath, but to also begin to truly learn why you are an empath and what that gift means. And we will explore that also in a separate video. But please know, the empath can all but feel the tears of another person touch their cheek, even while that person seems to be laughing to try to cover it. They see and they feel your excitement in that new opportunity or that new relationship, but at the same time, they feel the fear of disappointment that's riding its tail, the break in your heart, or even the guilt that others feel after making a decision that wasn't their highest choice. The should've, the could'ves, and the would'ves that spin in other people's energetic fields. Meet them like mini tornadoes, or many hurricanes consistently challenging them to know how to best help. Relying on their strong intuition in order to quietly bring each of these into balance and into healing. They will seldom, if ever, ask you for a thing in return, but they will always hope for at least the understanding and the grace that sympathy might offer. My hope as an empath is that I can help offer support and loyalty in truth to you all, to give you a window of clarity as you would have it from me, and to ultimately do my part in helping mankind to heal. It is always my pleasure to work with anyone that might like to reach out to me. My email's in the About section and the description box. We can set up a session and look at any matters of body, mind, and spirit to help you define and understand yourself, your own gifts. If you're an empath, we can work on understanding that also. Be blessed, support each other, and thank you again for being here.